Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening somewhere. We are looking at it again today. There you have on J4X. You can see the dollar index moving down, but that's with the Hinky Ashki. But you can see the blue, the fast is at 27.3, and the slow is at 33. Oh, it's actually still showing pressure on the downside. Now take a look at this. What has me a little interested in this particular moment is, let me turn off the Hinky for a second, and you'll see what I'm looking at here. Look at that move coming back up today. And that'll change with the Hinky in a little bit. Over on our beta platform, it's just, it's doing the same thing. It's showing you a green and a red. And then when we go to our regular platform, I put them side by side. Here's the 30-year bond. 30-year bond is off its highs today, but at the same time, it's probably just maybe a tick or two down or unchanged for the day. And you can see that the dollar index is lifting. So they're buying dollars. And it's a little curious, to watch that happen, especially when the marketplace seems to be calming down on some levels and more nervous than others. So, let's see. I don't see that on there. Why am I not seeing that on there? I guess it's going to shift in a second. Why is that not there? Okay. Must be that far behind. Let me put my volume up and see what I'm seeing here. Okay, it's just starting off. All right. So it's moving slower than me. So I see the broadcast sounds like it's about a minute and a half behind. All right, that's not too bad. All right. Yeah, so when looking at the two charts side by side, the 30-year and the dollar index, and watching the dollar index lift even on J4X, of course it's going to lift on J4X, but we're not getting that. We're not getting the confirm yet with the Hinky Ashki, which is which is that 68, 69% situation, and that's all right. It will change over the next hour or so, and we'll start to see a Hinky on a daily try to lift up. And we'll probably see the fast stochastic turn up firmer and the slow, basically stay where it's at. And then we'll start to get the strength that we're seeing right. I guess you could say it's right here. We're really not, I guess if we go like that, what happens when we do that? Yeah, okay. You see even ours is still underneath. It's still underneath the zero line. It's not lifting, it's trying. And matter of fact, you can see the standard deviation is pulling one of these where we had another strong move actually out of the dollar, and here it has. Let's see if we can widen this too. You can see our manifold has tightened enormously tightened, and so it's almost banging against each other. So that's got me concerned, because from that we can get some. But it sent it all flying now, didn't it? Where is it at? There it is. Let's bring this over. There it is. This way I can have both of them up on the screen at the same time. It can put more pressure on the dollar on the upside, which is kind of surprising. Let's see who's sending a message. There it is. And that is the dollar index. And it's, like I said, it's a little, it's curious. They don't want to sell dollars. In the end result, they don't want to sell dollars. Oh, there we go. There's Robin. Is trying hard not to let people in. What's this? YT. Which one's Y? What's YT? Let's see what this is. Let me just double check. Robin's saying something. YT. YT. What's YT? YouTube. Oh, yeah, mine's moving slow also. Just looking at where I'm at right now, I have double screens up, but I'm watching the YouTube, and it's moving a little slow here this morning. I see that. I guess that's the way it is today. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you too, George, huh? Yeah, you can see that. It's moving a little slow. That's all right. I just want to make sure it's moving. And it does seem like it's moving, so if I'm about a minute and a half behind on the YouTube, that's not too bad. And I won't be nervous about it. I'll just keep on rolling along. Now, I think the chat line might be up to date. Anybody want to Oh, that's it. You won't hear this for a minute and a half. That's it. So the chat line will be a little slow also because of that. All right, that's no problem. We'll get there. It's just part of the 21st century. Welcome to the 21st century. All right, so yes, that's the curiosity of it all in my mind is that we're not seeing bonds get knocked down. It's been a kind of nice little swing day, as you can see right here, where it's gone. Let's see if we can tighten this or widen this out even more to emphasize it. You can see it's, now it's plus from yesterday, where it was before a little, maybe a tick or two below, nothing major. And like I said, it made a new high and came down, and obviously it's not making a new lows, which is good. Dropping all the way down to the 107 area. I mean, that was one real interesting rock and roll yesterday. Can you imagine this product has a high today of 110.16, and yesterday's low was 107.24. I mean, that's a big move. That's some real action there. You can see we've had a couple of those over the last couple of weeks. The bond market is trying to figure out. As a matter of fact, my title yesterday was the Fed versus bond market, because that's really what it comes down to. The bond vigilantes, they have their way of trading the market, and then the Federal Reserve has its way of influencing the market, and the two are a true battle, because the Fed, who puts out lots of bonds, needs the bond traders or vigilantes or whatever you want to call them, needs them to participate, or it messes with their statistic. So they have to honor each other on some level. Actually, they have to fear the bond. That's why they call them the bond vigilantes. They have to fear them more than anything else at the Fed. So, whereas stock traders, they don't fear the stock traders at all. Currency traders, they do to some extent, but overall that's left up to the financial ministers and the U.S. Treasury. But when it comes to the bonds, the biggest market in the world, and it's a non-listed market, it is a pure challenge to the Federal Reserve. All right. Now, from there, we can drift our way from the dollar index. What it's telling us is that they want dollars. I mean, that's pretty much what it comes down to. They want dollars. Now, where did my J4X go? There it is right there. And so that's pretty much what they want. And they're going to obviously get them. And you can see here, the fast is starting to move up. It's a 28.1 with the slow sitting there at 33.6. And there's back to 27.9.5 or 959, hanging on that edge of the 28. And we'll see how well by the end of the webinar, how closer they get to leaping over the slow. All right, from there, okay, there's a text again. Let's see what that's all about. Mm-hmm. So, let's see. From there, we drift over to the euro. Let's take a look at the euro versus the dollar. And I'm going to take my sip of tea. Remember, Janos suggested yesterday I should take sips of tea at the change of each product. There we go. Put the lid back on it. Let's take a look at the euro. We'll put that up on J4X. There it is. All right, you can see here that has been moving up, and let's minimize that, and let's move over to go like that, and let's go move over to the euro and take a look at what the euro looks like this morning. And there it is. You see the euro is moving down. It's got that same thing going on. It's trying to, I don't know, the dollar is firm. I think that's what it comes down to at the moment. And at the same time, the weekly is begging. See it right there? Begging to get in to the buy. It's all zeros at this point. So let's see what they're doing with the futures of the euro. Where's that mouse at? Right there. Go like that. And we go up like this. And there is the euro future. And you see it doing the same thing. It's backing off. Still in the buy. Just like over here on our old platform. Still in the buy. And our beta is showing the same thing with the futures contract. And that weekly is trying to leap through. And on the old platform, we have it just banging up against the zero line itself. And you can see the fast has been through already. That's went into the weekly buy last week. And over on the beta, we see the same thing. It broke through last week. So we're seeing that strength. Hey, Janos. I did not set up the notification. Ah, my bad. Okay, that's all right. Does that make it lag? Is that what it is? So once you set it up, it becomes almost up to date, that type of thing. And so when it comes to whatever is going on, be it the world conflict or nervousness or, whatever, and the end result is that they're reaching for the dollars. Now, I can't wait when we let's go to GBP. You know what? Let's do this. I want to go to Swiss, and then we'll go back to GBP. Because I'm really curious to see what they're doing with the Swiss. And that's usually kind of like see if they're working along with the dollar, because the Swiss has been doing a pretty good job against the dollar. It's been really, there you go. They're playing with the sell side a little bit there. You see the weekly there, and you can see it's moving down there. So it's joining into. They're selling. Let's see. Let me think now. That's the futures contract. That is not the spot. Let's put the spot on, and you'll see it. The spot is rising, and the futures contract it's going down. That's the way it's supposed to work, because and you can see what the numbers are on the left side here. You can see that we're at where are we at right now. Let's just show you where we're at. This way you can understand. We do it reverse in the United States, so it's trading at 1.125. We reverse it out, whereas over on the spot, you can see it's trading. Dollar, it's the other way around. It's dollar Swiss, and it's trading at 0.89, and so that's what's going on. You can see it's trying to go into the buy. It's had a nice gain against the dollar, and you can see it went into the sell side here. Last week went into a sell. It's pressuring down. The fast has been in a sell for a couple of weeks. This is the third week when it comes to the fast algorithm on the weekly basis. It's been putting that pressure on it. Let's see what Yano says. Then it pops up on J4X, more and people join. Oh, okay. So I was hoping that, well, let's put it this way, not hoping, but when we look at the dollar Swiss pairs trade, and let's say the dollar Swiss pairs trade's not moving, that shows you even more nervousness in the marketplace. And in this case here, you're seeing it's just marching with the rest of the Forex pairs trades. So it's not as bad. Now, if we saw that they were reaching for Swiss francs and reaching for dollars, and it wasn't moving against the dollar, then I'd be more concerned. All right, my sip of the tea right at the end of the Swiss. So let's go over to the cable now. And there's the cable. Again, cable moving down a little bit, nothing major, and it's been in the buy for just 2 days, yesterday and today. It made a high, and then now it's backing off. The weekly is battling with the zero line. It's trying to get through. It's on the edge. The fast is just barely through the buy at this point. The fast is sitting at 0.00030, just changed from 29. That's that little blue one, 29 again, at the very, very bottom, and in the plot 6. Plot 6 there. Now it's at 28. And so there's, like I said, it's just basic pressure. People are reaching for dollars for whatever reason. Maybe they're thinking they need to buy bonds. I mean, that move we had in the bond market, you would think that bond managers would be thinking, why not take a bite of the apple? Let's buy little bonds here and then see what they do next. Now, we've been only looking for the 6% area to begin with. So there's a strong feeling that there is not going to be an interest rate increase in December. The FOMC is quiet this week. That's the Federal Open Market Committee, the Federal Reserve, and they will be talking next week. And so we don't expect to see an increase going into December. So we probably won't see any increases until January or February, or they may just walk away. That wouldn't surprise me if they just walk away and just kind of keep on playing it like, well, we're monitoring it, we're looking at it, we're observing it, we're following the numbers. They give us all kinds of cute little platitudes that mean almost nothing. They say little things that have no relevancy. And that's what they do, because the Federal Reserve is more of a political entity now than it is I guess you could say trying to be a neutral. It's not a neutral. All the other Fed chairs, minus Mrs. Yellen, of course, were neutral. All the way back, the Republican, Democrat, didn't matter. They were kind of neutral, and they just tried to protect the dollar. And now, ever since quantitative easing, that gives the politicians plenty of room to spend. So that's why they can't get we have a speaker pro temp at the moment in the House. They're having a battle because the spenders want to spend still, and we even have about 10 or so, if not more, you could tell all the way up to about 20 some odd out of the whole House, Republicans that want to spend. And that's why the fight is going on at the moment. This is the most conservative. Normally they would win. But the market, at this point, the House of Representatives has the most conservative Congress since the Civil War in the 1860s and 70s. So we haven't had this type of conservatism since they freed the slaves. So, all right. So from cable, we've seen Swiss. Let's move over to yen. See what the yen is up to. Yen, boy, it's parked itself right underneath that 150 area, playing with that 35-year high. The weekly's been in a weekly for a while now. It tries to break down, but it doesn't seem to have the strength. The daily drifted into the sell yesterday, and the daily now is drifting back into the buy again. The yen just does not. I don't know. There's a lot of moving parts there with the yen. You have a whole new chair for the Bank of Japan, and they're trying to get some growth. They've been in stagflation for almost 30 years now, since 1993. Ooh, what do we got here? My bad. It pops up. Okay. Yeah, so with stagflation really hurting Japan for the last 3 decades, they're really trying to come up with a better way. Some growth. The whole thing has been a chaotic situation in Japan. Hopefully things will work out. But you can see on the currency, it's just parked right underneath it. All right. From there, we go over to Turkish lira. Ooh. Where did that high go? Today's high we have is 30.38. Let's take a look at it over here on J4X. Right there. They're showing a high of 30. What is that? 30.06. Either way, it found a way up into the 30s. It's really making this doubling of the interest rate in Turkey mean almost nothing now. I hope somebody made some money out of it. I'm sure somebody on the political side did. And let's hope that they start to think about new policies someday. So far, we're not seeing new policies. Can we look at the VIX? Sorry, I had to call was away. VIX, yeah, let's definitely look at the VIX. We're going to first put it on our beta. Right there. Because I was just looking at the VIX in it. Where is it at? That's the oil VIX. Notice the oil VIX is moving down. There's the oil VIX today, breaking down. The S&P VIX, see where that is, right, we'll get there as we scroll to it. There it is right there. There is the S&P VIX, breaking down also, having some pressure. Let's see how it looks on J4X. It's been a while since we looked at it on J4X. No. I don't see it on here. Maybe that's it right there. Now that's the S&P VIX, and then let's put it up on. Let's see, where's it at on here? Let's put it up on. Is it in one? No. Is it there? No. Let's see, where is it at? We have to open it up. That's what it is. Open. Day week, and here's the VIX. There we go. Boy, Bitcoin's really moving nice. Right there. And there's the stock VIX. It had gotten up into the 22 area. We've been in that weekly buy since the 16 area. And you can see here, we're using the fast histogram as its indicator. See that daily buy went in here. Weekly went into a buy right here. And each buy has been okay. This was a little sloppy at it, but it went up. And finally, we're just starting to flirt with a sell today right there. So we've been in a buy. Let's put some lines in there. There's the buy. And we are now flirting with the sell right there as we speak. And then, let's see, where's the last buy? Let's put that buy in too, right there. So that was a nice buy also in that weekly buy. So that was a nice win. This got you into it. You had a win inside there. That got you into a real sloppy move, but it was still a win in the end. And then the sell is there today. We're finally getting into that sell side. Trying at least. Let's put it that way. That's the VIX. And the VIX is not telling us anything particular. Should we look at the VIX? We can even look at there's a VIX for the Tech 100 also. Can we look at the VIX? Yeah. Since that date in the buy. What about date in the buy? But there's another VIX. I think let me see if I can find it, what it is. NASDAQ VIX, which is kind of neat because, the NASDAQ to a great extent, the S&P 500 is the favorite when it comes to money managers. And then what they do is they buy ancillary. They buy on the side. Now, remember, the biggest stocks in the Tech 100 are in the S&P 500. So it's a commingled thing there. Let's see. Volatility. Let's see. So there's the VIX. There's another symbol for it. Let's see. What is it? NASDAQ volatility. Let's try that. NASDAQ volatility. Volatility. Let's see. Not there. We'll find it in a second, and I think we should put it up there just to get a flavor. I know it's about 10 points ahead, so it's probably like 28 or 29. NASDAQ volatility index. There it is. And the symbol is, wow, it's really rocking. It's a 49. Is that right? NDAQ. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see. NASDAQ. Vol. Huh. I'm not sure why I'm not getting it. I just saw it too. Let's see if we can find it again. Let's try. Let's see what that symbol is. So NDAQ. Is that right? Okay, there. No, there it is. VOLQ. That's what it is. VOLQ. Let's find that. I'm just going to double check it. VOLQ. There it is. And let's put it in. We're going to throw it up on the screen. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Let's get rid of that. And let's put it in there. I think besides YouTube, everything seems to be wanting to move slow today. Add there. And let's see, go with, let me put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Because it's a square sign. Whoop. Shift VOLQ. Save. Okay. Now let's see what it looks like. Right there. A little Spinsky. And we go to the bottom, and there it is. And there it is. Now why is it not loading in? Let's try that again. VOLQ. That's it. Let's try it again. VOLQ. Search. What do I have wrong there? VOLQ. It's there. Why am I? Why? Let's see who's texted me. There we go. All right. It's a 2021. Copy. Let's see if we can get this to work. I want to get it up on the screen here. Let's see, save. Let's see if that'll do it. There we are. And spin it again. And here we go. Doesn't seem to want to pick it up. I don't know why it's not. Because I'm looking at it. What am I seeing wrong here? VOLQ. Huh. Well, we can't seem to get it up on the screen. Well, we'll just stay with that for the time being, and I'll work on it another day. We will chase after it. Wait, did I get it? Did I get it? No. Did not get it. For a minute I thought it popped up on the screen, but it's not popping up on the screen. Alright, we'll delete it and start over again. All right, from there, let's get back to the chat line. I haven't seen the chat line. Okay, we can look at the VIX since that they buy. Doc, how do you deal with getting up early? What time do you sleep? What time do I sleep? I sleep at about, I don't know, I sleep a good solid 4 hours for sure. I've done that all my life. So that's why I was able to trade currencies for all those years. Because it wasn't that hard for me to trade currencies, moving my gamma around in the middle of the night. The trading desk would call and tell me I used to make them call me and tell me if I was filled in something. Then if depending on how I got filled, I'd put another order out there in the other direction. Remember, I was trading options on it, so I was moving my gamma around all the time. Gamma is like, moving my deltas around, taking profits. So, that's why I'm comfortable doing the currencies. I'm comfortable doing the stocks, doing all of them. And let's see. So from there, let's see. Where do we go from there? We looked at the VIX. We were looking at, we were looking at Turkish lira. So let's slide over to the BRICS. Let's see, the number one brick in the world. Let's check it out right there. The South African rand. It's kind of trapped in that situation too, where it can't seem to get going. At the same time, we see the metals complex. Let's put the I wonder if we... I'm not going to worry about that VIX. I'll go after it tomorrow. I'm going to try to get the NASDAQ VIX up on the system too. But let's take a look at the South African rand. And because the gold is kind of leaky, it's kind of trying to move down. We're seeing that same action in the silver. Both of them are not exactly exploding anymore. And so let's jump over to South African rand. Right. Where is ZAR? There it is right there. You see it's kind of trying to push up. When it goes up, the metals complex has a natural tendency to go down. So I go like that. And you see gold made a new low from yesterday. And we're in a red, and it's playing with the daily sell as we speak. So there's some pressure on the product. It is trying, for whatever reasons, they're buying dollars, selling gold. And you would think with the way the world looks with what's going on, that you wouldn't see that type of strength, but we are, and that's what's really odd. Dollar strength, weak metals complex, and then we go over and we look at silver, and there's silver doing trying to do the same thing. It's trying to break down. It hasn't done it yet, but it's flirting. This one's flirting with the weekly sell, whereas let's go back to gold. Gold is not playing with the weekly sell, which is curious in its own right. It's playing with a daily sell. Either way, it tells us that money is trying to move out, or at least they're taking profits. Right there. You see that it's the weekly is very comfortable up above the manifold, both of them, and it's not weakening like that. But that is the metal situation that's going on, and then from there we go over to right there, copper. And copper is trying to lift up. Yesterday it tried to lift up. It closed above the zero line, but we were red and green. Today it's red and green again, battling, and then we're in that weekly at the same time. And I saw an interesting story. It was something I wanted to go deeper into it. Let's see if I can find that story that I was looking at. Let me put it up on this. But it was an interesting story about China. And, we always talk about that, how it's impossible to be able to really tell what's going on in China. The only way we really can tell is if we, look at the finance side, what's really happening. And so here's a story here today. We're going to move that over here like that. X makes unprecedented People's Bank of China visit amid property sector turmoil. We talked about this yesterday, and we've talked about it last week, and I'm always talking about it when it comes to their their situation. It says China continuing economic slowdown and turbulence in the proprietary property markets have the potential to spark damaging reverberations across the global economy. In an attempt to shore up the economy, the financial markets, President Xi in particular, visited the nation's central bank for the first known time, according to Bloomberg, citing people familiar with the matter. And Xi, Premier for Life, and other top officials visited People's Bank of China. So I guess they're telling them they should have paid the $15 million. That's what I'm thinking. Let's see if the story says anything about that. Says there that China and the State Administration of Foreign Exchange on Tuesday afternoon. That means they're worried about the currency. The people said that, adding that the lifeling, what the hell is that? I guess that's lifeling. Also visited. I guess that's Qi. They call him the lifelong. Also visited the nation's sovereignty wealth fund. The details of the visit were not clear, but might indicate to investors potential policy signals for a centralized and unified leadership over the financial industry. Public record visits show this is the first time that the most powerful Chinese leader has appeared at the People's Bank of China since Mao Zedong. Wow. So, I'm not going to get deeper into the story, but it says one person explained that Xi's visit to the foreign exchange regulatory is a better understanding that the country's $3 trillion reserves, and it comes 1 week before top leaders discuss financial policy and medium-term priorities in a closed-door economic policy meeting. All right. Well, all I know is, I go back to the basics, and that is we know that they defaulted on $15 million, not billion. The $15 million is paying interest on $11 billion in $11 billion in bonds. So some property group in China couldn't pay their dividend payment. It got past the grace period of 30 days, and they still didn't pay it. And so maybe they're trying to tell somebody in there that, if we really have $3 trillion in reserve, why are we defaulting on $15 million? I mean, you would think that's not even it's like reaching into your pocket and thinking that you're looking for a $100 bill and you find a coin for 25 cents. And you go, okay, this is good. I can afford. Well, what China is telling us is that they don't have $3 trillion in reserve. What that's telling us, that they default on $15 million, it means that they're strapped for capital. Or the other way around, they don't know what to do with what they have to begin with, so you can't trust the guidance of who's running the place to begin with. It's one or the other, because if you really have $3 trillion, and what did you do with the $11 billion that you borrowed? If are they plowing this money into just airplanes and tanks and, ships and not doing anything else economically? That sounds like a way for disaster. So they all show up there, and now they're going to try to straighten out a policy. You would think after this next meeting in the next week that China won't be doing so many defaults anymore, which could put some positive spin into the world markets. That's the way I look at it. I mean, I look at it on an economic level. And we've seen this before. China seems to default on very small increments, a quarter, like 200 million, 140 million, not billion, not billion, not trillion, million. They default on stuff like that. And it's like, why? If you have $3 trillion in reserves, why can't you just sift off a little bit? Make the world feel comfortable that you are a financial leader. Right now, they're not a financial leader. They don't know how to be a financial leader. That's the problem. And one thing is that when you owe $15 million, pay it. Make the bondholders happy. So, anyhow, that is that. And that always catches my eye. I don't understand. They can tell us all these wonderful things about China. They can tell us how good they are economically and what they have potential for and how it all looks. But in the end result, if they're allowing things to go into default for 30 million and 20 million and 100 million. And it's not like it's every day. It's, it happens every couple months. Something's wrong. Where is the 3 trillion? They can't find $15 million. If I gave you $1 trillion, you would be lighting cigarettes with $100 bills. And that's pretty much what it comes down to. I mean, it's like, what's 15 million on $1 trillion is nothing. It's not even a rounding number. Remember, it's a what is it? It's a thousand. What is it? It's 10 100 billion, $1,000 billion. $1,000 billion is $1 trillion. You're talking about 1,000 billion, and $1 billion is 1,000 million. That's what it is. 1,000 million. That's what $1 billion is. 1,000 million. There's a 10. Yeah, 1,000 million. So you can't find $15 million, and you got $3 trillion sitting around. It's not even 1% of 1%. It's so small, and that's the confusion of it all. Let's see. The talk made me feel. I got to see what that last word is. I got to put a dot in there or something. Oh yeah. The talk made me feel poor. Well, it's not you or your country. It's them. Do they really have 3 trillion? That's the problem. We know they have close to $1 trillion in the United States, and for some reason they don't want to sell it because they know that it might. If they take that $1 trillion out of the United States, they may just. They may just lose it. Who knows what they'll do with it? They'll steal it all. I don't know. You tell me. How do you default on $15 million? I don't know. And we've seen this. We've seen Evergrande default on like 60 million and 70 million. And we've seen a lot of these government-owned companies default on incredibly small numbers. I have no other way of being able to measure China. I don't know how, because I don't trust what they say. That's the problem. Because if they didn't default, I could trust more what they say. But when they default on such a small amount of money, I don't know how to trust anything they say. I mean, that's the trader in me, So, anyhow, I'm done that now. I've got over it. My brain is chilling out now. I'm calming down. Calm down, Doc. Calm down. Yeah, that's it. Calm down. What, China? No way in the world. I won't even leave my state, let alone... I have a hard enough time wanting to leave my county, let alone leave the country. I don't have any interest in leaving the country. I did that when I was young. I don't need to do that anymore. Matter of fact, the world is a weirder place than ever now. At least the lines were drawn very clearly back then. Soviet Union, America, and the non-aligned movement. Everything made some sense. That's why I hear him. Yes, exactly. They can't get me out. They can barely get me out of the state, let alone get me out of the country. Every time someone says, "Let's go do this," and they want me to fly somewhere. I have friends. They flew to Paris. Like, come to Paris, hang out with us. It's like, no, no. I said, if I go that far, I'm going to Latvia. That's what I said to them. And they said, "What's Latvia?" I said, "It's Latvia. It's in the Baltics." So why would you go there? Because I don't want to be in Paris. Yeah, that's all right. You were a patriot. You were hoping to someday not be on the Soviet side. When I was young, I went through most of the Soviet bloc. I didn't go north though. I went through all of Yugoslavia and cut through that away. During the Tito years, coffee shops. They call Riga the new Paris. Sounds good to me. And when I get interested in leaving the country, the first country I'm going to Latvia. I'll be in Riga. If I leave this country, I'm going to Riga. And that's the key word there is if. All right. Where are we at now? So that's the metals complex. Oh, we didn't look at platinum. That's the other part. We can't get platinum to lift. Every time we turn around and we're expecting to see some strength, in the gold and the silver, which we've seen, because of the Middle East situation. Yeah, look at that. Today they're pushing it down even harder, and we're in that weekly sell now for a good 5 full weeks. The fast is trying to get through the zero line. We're up $1.80 on it, but overall, we're really having a hard time getting the metals to act the way they normally do. With certain geographic, economic situations going on. But one thing is for sure, and that is that we're not getting the strength in the metals that we should for the amount of political activity going on. Strange today. It is. The whole thing is strange. And no, wait, we'll get you blocked. Dollar index is up. Well, VIX is down. Yeah, I know. I mean, this is the week of a lot of earnings. I mean, Microsoft and I think Alphabet come out tonight. We've just had like General Electric and Coca-Cola and a bunch of others come out. They're all very positive. I think the stock market's acting firm. Let's see. Let's take a look at it. There it is. Yeah, it's acting firm. I wouldn't call it exploding, Here, I'll put up a short. This is the intraday. You can see this is what it's been doing since the opening of Europe, right here. Right there is the opening of Europe with the Swiss and Frankfurt and London and Spain and Amsterdam and everything else. Everybody opened up right here. And the S&Ps went from not a lot. They've only gone from like the 4,245 area up to the 4,260. What's that? 68 area. 68 area. So it was like a 20 handle move, but it's not exactly like leaping through. It's not showing the strength. And then we got the dollar index moving up. And then we got the we got the dollar index moving up. We've got the bonds unchanged. So we got it is a very strange. We're seeing a lot of different cross currents going on. Lots of different cross currents. Here's things dinging. Ooh, that's nice. All right, now from the metals, we'll go over to the energies. Let's take a look at the Canadian dollar, which is probably lifting up even more because I see oil is down. We'll put Brent up on there in a few seconds. I just want to put dollar CAD up on J4X for a second. And right there it is. You see, oh, look at it. It's a little red, actually. And let's look at it over here. There, and let's see, right, where's it at? Right there. So the Canadian is up too. Went into a sell yesterday and looks like it's still underneath it, so it's not jumping that much. But then when we go and look at right here, there's the crude oil. It's a second day in a sell, moving down just softly. Weekly trying to, and look at it. You want to talk about odd dichotomy, in other words, crazy action that's trying to battle its way into a weekly buy as we are in the sell. Same thing going on with the back month in February. It's also trying to get into the weekly buy and hanging out down in the daily sell region. So this action in here, and then you go over to the dollar index. I'd imagine the dollar index is still flying along. Let's take a look at the dollar index before we get out of here. Right there. This dollar index is at the highs of the day still. It's not letting go. It's trying to get, you can see the algorithm is trying to get going in there, right there. So, and then let's see. Remember, we were looking at the algorithm and so forth in the dollar index. Let's take a look at that over on J4X at this point. Right, where is it at? Right there. There it is. It was at 28 basically. Now, remember I said it'll probably get going slowly. And there it is now. It's at 30.1. So we've gone up a couple handles on that. This was the slow is at 33.6, is at 34.2, and so the fast is trying to get over the slow. We're seeing that soft, slow, steady buying going on over there. All right, now from there, and so right there, let's see, dollar index. Yeah, see, they're still buying the dollar, and the dollar is firm for whatever nervousness that's going on. DX is up while VIX is down. Yeah, strange day. Okay, all right. So from there, what else we got to talk about? Anybody want to see anything before we get out of here? Let's take a look at. I did show you 2 oil contracts. Let's show you the natural gas, which we're looking in the December contract now. It's trying to get into the buy. It's been in a weekly buy for 4 weeks, this one, compared to the November, which went in and out once. And then we go over to the Spanish oil producer that usually has a good handle on what is going on in Europe. Right there. There you go, right there. You see it's trading at the 26.53 area. It's kind of moved up a little bit more than we were expecting. I was hoping it would break the 26 on the downside, but it's not doing that. It's doing the opposite of it right now. So then at the same time, let's put it up on the screen here and show you where our algorithms are pointing with it. Let's see, where are you? Missed it. Oh, there it is. There you go. You can see right there. You see that it's moving up. Just as you see it on J4X, and at the same time, you see the dailies through the buy, and from yesterday, it's not reflecting today yet. And you can see here the weekly is fighting to get into a buy at the same time. And so we've got some strength coming into it, which is normal for the winter months. Of course, natural gas should be strong. We're hoping it stalls out in this area, so that the Europeans are not paying, food money for heat. We keep on hearing that they're firing up coal plants in Germany, and the political parties that are very green are losing and disappearing. Not disappearing, but they're losing power left and right. No pun intended. And normal business-like, political parties are starting to gain some power again. So, all right. From there, that's pretty much what's going on in the energy universe. So, what else can we say? Oh, we can take a look at the stock indices again and see how they are acting, in the sense that, are they acting like, let's see, where is it at? Right here. There's the S&P 500. Let's get that up on the screen. And you can see it's trying to lift. It's got a green and a red, but look how far down it is still here. And the weekly is still down, and I've warned everybody about it last week and the week before and the week before. No bottom fishing until we get one of these things to start to get into the buy. At least, get these things through the negative manifold here, and they don't even have to get into the plus. Just get a daily buy going with them. Get the fast maybe through the zero line. It would be at least half a sign that there's some buyers coming in. So far, we're not seeing that. When it comes to, let's go down to the SPY, the ETF on the stock side right there. That's the future contract. You see it's banging against, I don't know what the hell that is. It's banging against the 50-day moving average. Let's fix that. Something's wrong there. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's Yeah, I'm not sure. That's like a double thing going on. That doesn't make any sense. I put that in this morning at the actual price. Let's see if we can straighten that out. All right, traders, we're out of here. This is Doc. We'll talk to you tomorrow, and I don't know if I'll be on a tear about China tomorrow as I was today because I'm still amazed that they defaulted on $15 million. All right, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Have a safe and smart trading day.